Janey here. Welcome to my very windy garden. It is another very windy day here in California. I live in Northern California, and so it's nowhere near as bad as Southern California. Southern California wind is absolutely insane right now, and the fires that they're going through, it just breaks my heart. I appreciate all of the messages from all of you wondering if we're okay and if my family's okay. We're totally fine. We're mostly located in Northern California. My grandmother does live in Southern California with my aunt, but they're okay right now. So huge thank you, but we're totally fine. We're really far away from the fires, but my heart absolutely breaks. My family has history of dealing with wildfires. We lost our family home in 2017 due to a wildfire. So it's just heartbreaking to see that. So I hope those of you who live in Southern California are staying safe. So on a bit of a lighter note, I have to say I'm a very happy girl today, and that is because just the other day I was filming my front garden tour talking about the propane tank. We have front and center of our front yard and saying how we were going to have it removed, and I didn't know what day it was going to be removed, and I was just kind of sitting here and waiting because the gas company wouldn't give us a time. And funny enough, the very next day they showed up to remove the propane tank, which is just so fun. It is so exciting. So for just a little bit of a backstory, we moved into this house in August of 2023, so 2 Augusts ago. And one of the drawbacks to the home, I mean, you know, this house needed a lot of work, but there was this giant propane tank in the front yard. And they had tried to kind of cover it up a little bit with some Lady Banks roses that were climbing on this trellis. The whole thing was so scrubby and overgrown and falling over. We needed to just take that down and start fresh. And Jason and I have been going back and forth for the past year on what we were going to do with this darn propane tank. Whether we were going to move it, we were thinking about moving it up right to the front fence right there, front gate, or we even had it planned to move it over to the orchard garden at one point. Then at one point we had it planned to move it over by our garage. The limiting factor for all of this was the cost of moving the propane tank. I was shocked. I had no idea. I thought it would be not that expensive to move the propane tank. I thought that would be the cheapest option. Definitely wasn't, and that is because of the plumbing. The plumbing for the pipes to take it to the next spot was going to be the most expensive, and it was really cost prohibitive for us right now. So the propane tank has kind of sat there while we tried to figure out what to do, and what we finally decided to do was to convert to electricity. So the propane tank gave us power for our stove and power for our dryer and a couple other things, and we had an electrician come in and convert all of that, and so that we could cap off the propane tank and have them move it, which ended up being the right decision. I'm super happy about it. And so like I said, we were just waiting for the gas company to come and move the propane tank, and they did. And they had this big boom arm on their truck that they picked up the propane tank. It took all of 5 minutes, but it was so exciting because now we have this empty blank space and we no longer have to look at the front of our house and see a propane tank, which is just super, super exciting. So the only thing we have left of the propane tank is a little ditch where it was sitting in, and then this pipe right here. And all Jason has to do is dig down and cap it, and then we're done with the propane tank. So then we have some compost that we're going to spread over this area, and I have some California no-mow grass seed that I'm going to try and spread and try and get to sprout in this area, and I'm just very, very excited. So I'm sharing this because a lot of you have been giving me suggestions on what to do with the propane tank. The funniest ones are those of you who suggested I paint it like a submarine or flowers on it or something like that. And so thank you for all of those suggestions. It was fun to kind of go through the options with all of you, but now the whole saga of the propane tank is over because it's removed, it's taken out, and I don't have to worry about it anymore. So as you can see, it's very windy outside today. It's just not a fun day to be outside gardening. So I think I'm going to skip out on gardening today, but what I do have to do is I have to head to my local hardware store and pick up all of my pruners that I actually have taken in to get sharpened. Ooh, gosh. I feel like I can hear myself now. I'm really sorry about that wind noise, you guys, and it was not smart to wear my hair down today on such a windy day. So anyway, I'm in my car because like I said, I'm headed to my local hardware store, Ace Hardware, and that is because my local Ace Hardware offers sharpening services, usually knife sharpening services, but they also do garden tools and stuff like that. And they offer that about once a week. So I dropped it off the other day and now I have to go pick it up. And the reason why I'm doing this year, normally I've even done videos on sharpening your tools yourself. Jason will help me sharpen my tools around this time of year, and I do it a lot. I feel like I get it sharpened and I can, take care of the tool, take care of the pruners, bypass pruners or loppers or whatever it is. But I never feel like I get it really sharp, like really, really sharp, that like a professional would do when they sharpen your knives. So for this year, I wanted to change it up a little bit. And I wanted to see if I could take in my pruners and get them professionally sharpened, see if it was worth it. I'm finding as I get older, sometimes it's just worth it to pay a professional to do it. And it's more worth my time. And I get a better result if I actually pay a professional to do it. So I'm trying that out this year to see how it is to get my pruners professionally sharpened and cared for this year. So I wanted to bring you all along with me. I'm going to head into town, into my local hardware store. I think I dropped off 6 pruners or 7. I think I had 5 bypass pruners and then 2 of those hardcore outdoor scissors that I really like using, like for cutting grasses and stuff like that. So I dropped all those off. I haven't had any pruners to use for the last 2 days. So let's go pick them up and let's see how they look. So that was $98. So that's $14 per pair of pruners that I just paid for. So because I put in 7 pruners, $98 to get my pruners sharpened does sound like a lot of money, but I have 7 pruners. So, if you only had 1 or 2, it would only be like $14 or $28 or something like that. So I gave him my worst pruners, my absolute worst pruners that were just terrible and stuck. And they seem so much better now. Let me look for my Felcos. Okay, so here's my most used ones. I mean, it seems pretty good. I'll obviously have to go and see how they do, how sharp they are when I'm, pruning things outside. Obviously, I don't want to do that today because of how windy it is, but I'm pretty happy to have them all done. The one thing they didn't do is they didn't take the rust off, which I can do that. That's a pretty easy part of the job. And then my garden scissors. I love these things, you guys. If you don't have garden scissors, go run and get yourself some heavy duty garden scissors. You can get them from like Home Depot or, Ace Hardware or something like that. I use these so incredibly much. It's crazy how often I use these, whether it's to cut grasses or whether it's to trim, landscape fabric or anything else that I have out in the garden that the pruners don't really work well for. These are huge, but I'm so hard on these that they definitely needed to be sharpened. So I'm really happy that I have them sharp now. We're ready for the next gardening season. I know this was kind of a weird video because I didn't do much well, I didn't do any gardening today, honestly, let's be honest. But it's all in the orbit of gardening. So anyway, I just wanted to show you guys that I was not going to be cleaning and sharpening my pruners myself this year. Am I being lazy? Yeah, probably a little bit, but I also really wanted to try it out to see how well it works. And so far, I'm pretty happy. I feel good about it. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this, and I hope you all have a chance to get in your garden today.